The twisted villains had been defeated. Wicked lay bleeding out on the ground, his minions, Silver Platter and Linger, knocked out cold beside him. Our hero stood victorious but exhausted. The fight had been long, painful, and dangerous, but he knew that even though this battle was over, the war was far from won. He looked up at the sky and whispered, "I need help." As if summoned by his thoughts, a portal ripped open in the sky, and out stepped some very familiar faces. Dipper, Mabel, Wendy, Suze, and Stan Pines from Gravity Falls. They were soon joined by a familiar face from another dimension, Darius from Jurassic Park. This ragtag band of heroes was about to become a force to be reckoned with. But our hero knew that to take down what was coming, he would need even more help. As he prepared to face the most insane boss fight of his life, the skies darkened and a booming laugh echoed across the land. It was a laugh that sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest souls. For it was the harbinger of doom, the presage of utter chaos, the dreaded return of Bill Cipher. He emerged from the swirling vortex, his one good eye gleaming with malicious glee, flanked by an entourage of terrifying figures straight out of a nightmare. There was John, the creepy, unsettling creature from Jeffy's Infinite Irida. Next to him was Jerry, the embodiment of existential dread from Ethos Logos Pathos FNF. Then came Jeffy, the maniacal jester from Jeffy's Endless Ethos, followed by Johnny, the puppet master of Flesh and Sinew, and finally, the shadowy figure of Dark Jimmy. This motley crew of malevolent entities was a sight to behold, each more disturbing than the last. The air crackled with anticipation as the two factions faced off. Our hero, flanked by his companions, stood ready to defend against the onslaught of insanity that was about to be unleashed. The twisted villains stirred, their evil presence palpable as they watched the newcomers with hungry eyes. The stage was set for an epic showdown, a clash of titans that would determine the fate of everything. With a sinister grin, Bill Cipher addressed his companions. "My dear friends," he rasped, his voice like nails on a chalkboard, "we have been summoned here for a very special occasion, a celebration of sorts." He gestured dramatically towards the gathered heroes with a flourish of his cane. "We are here to put an end to this pathetic excuse for a story." A chorus of derisive laughter echoed around the clearing as the twisted villains and Bill's companions exchanged gleeful grins. The heroes stood firm, their determination unwavering despite the ominous words. "You may have won some battles," Bill continued, his voice dripping with condescension. "But this war is far from over. In fact, it's only just begun." He launched into action, hurtling towards our hero with a speed that belied his lanky form. The attack was swift and brutal, catching our hero off guard. Yet amidst the chaos, a new presence emerged. A portal shimmered into existence beside our hero, and from it stepped none other than Best Henny Dave 244, a being of pure energy whose very essence seemed to defy the laws of physics. Best Henny Dave 244 wasted no time in joining the fray, his powers surging forth in waves of pure awfulness. With a flick of his wrist, he banished the twisted villains back to the abyss from which they had come, their screams of anguish echoing in the twilight. But Bill Cipher remained, his grin widening as he welcomed his new opponent. "Ah, Best Henny Dave 1244, he drawled, his tone laced with mock surprise. "Fancy meeting you here, and with such esteemed company, too." He gestured grandly towards the assembled villains. "A party, how delightful!" Their first encounter was nothing short of spectacular, a dazzling display of cosmic chaos and raw power. Best Henny Dave 1244 met Bill's every move with a counter-maneuver of his own, their powers clashing in a maelstrom of pure awesome sauce. The ground trembled beneath their feet as the very fabric of reality strained to contain the energy they unleashed. Amidst the swirling vortex of their confrontation, another portal flared into existence. From it emerged Funny Random Guy, his presence radiating a disconcerting blend of calmness and menace. His arrival was marked by a pregnant silence, a stark contrast to the previous mayhem. Funny Random Guy's entrance was not lost on Bill Cipher, who paused momentarily in his duel with Best Henny Dave 1244 to address the newcomer. "Well, well, if it isn't Funny Random Guy, the master of unexpected twists," he said, his voice dripping with faux sweetness. How simply, how delightfully anticlimactic. As if in response to Bill's taunt, Funny Random Guy's eyes flashed with an otherworldly light and he vanished without a trace, reappearing directly in front of Bill. Before the startled demon could react, Funny Random Guy unleashed his ultimate attack, an assault on Bill's very sense of self, a psychic maelstrom that threatened to unravel the villain's sanity. Yet Bill, for all his bluster, was not easily defeated. With a Herculean effort, he resisted the onslaught, his form flickering as he fought to maintain his grip on reality. But Funny Random Guy's attack was relentless, a tidal wave of awfulness that showed no signs of abating. In the midst of this intense psychological duel, another portal erupted in the sky, heralding the arrival of yet another legendary figure, Block Sky 767. His presence radiated an ancient wisdom, a depth of knowledge that hinted at eons of experience. As Block Sky 767 stepped forward, the very air around him hummed with latent power. His eyes, twin galaxies of starlight, held the secrets of the cosmos, while his every gesture seemed to resonate with the rhythm of the universe. With Block Sky 767's arrival, the balance of power shifted. The battle lines were drawn, the forces of chaos and order poised in a precarious equilibrium. The fate of everything hung in the balance, waiting for the next move in this extraordinary game of cosmic chess. And then it happened. Best Henny Dave 44, Funny Random Guy, and Block Sky 767, the three enigmatic figures who had seemingly come out of nowhere, were revealed to be the true gods of this reality. Their power, once latent, now surged to the forefront, transforming them into beings of immense cosmic significance. As their true forms manifested, the landscape around them responded, mountains rising and falling in harmony with their wills. The sky itself bowed before them, swirling into nebulae of awe and wonder. Even Bill Cipher, for all his audacity and bravado, seemed humbled in the face of their overwhelming presence. Yet despite this revelation, the battle was far from over. The villains, rejuvenated by a sudden surge of desperate energy, renewed their assault. Under the banner of their fallen comrade, they pressed forward, their attacks growing bolder, their movements more frenzied. The heroes, however, stood firm, united in the face of this renewed onslaught. They fought not just to protect their own reality, but to uphold the very concept of balance, order, and harmony in the face of chaos. The clash of titans reached its crescendo, a whirlwind of unimaginable power and skill. With a final, earth-shattering roar, the villains were vanquished, their forms dissolving into the ether, leaving behind only whispers of their malevolent essence. But even in the midst of their victory, the true gods knew that the ordeal was not truly over. For the ultimate test, the preservation of their own existence, lay ahead. The three gods turned to face the music, their expressions grave, their bodies tense with anticipation. In that moment, there was no joy in victory, only the stark awareness of what lay ahead. And then it began. The countdown to their own demise. The clock started ticking, a relentless metronome counting down their remaining time. With each passing second, the weight of their impending fate pressed down on them, a grim reminder of the ultimate cost of their existence. As the seconds ticked by, the gods found themselves locked in a battle against time itself. Their powers flared, not in aggression, but in a desperate attempt to manipulate the very fabric of existence. Yet the clock kept ticking, its rhythm a haunting dirge in the face of their futile efforts. With only moments left, the true gods made a pact. Block Sky 767, with his mastery over the physical laws of the universe, created a pocket realm, a sanctuary where time flowed differently. Within this haven, Best Henny Dave, 1244, and Funny Random Guy channeled their combined energies, warping the very concept of time to buy a few precious moments. But it wasn't enough. As the last tick of the clock echoed through their sanctuary, the three gods knew that their time had come. With a final surge of their combined powers, they banished themselves into the depths of the multiverse, hoping against hope that somewhere, somehow, they might find a way to rewrite their fate. And so the legend of the three gods ended not with a bang, but with a whimper, leaving the fate of the multiverse hanging in the balance as the countdown to their demise echoed through the void. What started as a fight to save the world became a war to survive the wrath of the cosmos. An ending so insane you'll need to watch it 3 times just to believe it.